Hi everybody, this is more of kind of a podcast version. I won't be kind of short here. I try to explain more about my experience playing Ninja Gaiden 4. This is the game that I was waiting to play for quite some time. I actually jumped a few months ago into Ninja Gaiden just to get a better taste of how it is, because I haven't played the classic ones, but I wanted to see because people told me good things about them, so I just gave it a try. And from what I tried, again, it was challenging, it was fun, and I told myself, what if Ninja Gaiden 4 comes out? Definitely I'm going to play it. Now, as you know, if you follow my channel, my favorite genres are Souls-like, action RPG games in general. I really like character progression in game. I like exploration, discovery. I like enigmatic worlds that are mysterious and exciting to discover. I really like open world games that are made well. Elden Ring was definitely among the best there is, that allows you to basically have a free room to explore different locations at your own pace. And you know, most of the games that I really enjoy playing in the, let's say, last 5 years fall into these categories. Now, Ninja Gaiden 4 is not an open world game. It's very linear. There's some off-path options to discover. And one thing that when I played, it didn't take me a lot to kind of get disappointed, is there aren't a lot of things that you can actually enjoy exploration or unlock. Many of the unlocks are just few weapons that you're going to look throughout the game. And most of the time what you find in chests are just consumables. So it was disappointed. But when I came to this game, I was also, I knew that I want to play something that is more arcadey. And although I'm very addicted to the RPG elements of games, it doesn't mean that any game needs to be like that. This is a very important point. Not every game also needs to be very long, because again, when you have progression, the game usually is long because you need to enjoy the process of finding things and progressing and exploring. You won't find it in a game that you finish relatively fast. Now, this is from Game Pass. You can see, I actually think that I played more. I don't know. I don't think that I played. It was 11 hours. Anyway, let's say I started yesterday and I finished today. So maybe. Nonetheless, it was fast. And I mean, you can really put a lot into this if you're going to finish a game relatively fast. And even if you look at the Game Pass stats for the game in general, in terms of how much it usually takes about 18 hours to finish the game. And actually, this is what I wanted. But the thing is that the addiction for RPG elements kind of strikes, you know, in many games that I start playing, although if there are not even action RPG games. Anyway, so that aside, because it's not really a disadvantage, because that's the way the game is designed. But still, I think that in terms of finding things in the world, it could have been done better. Because where most of the things are just consumables, it feels you need to go off path just to get them. It's kind of disappointing, to be honest, because you really want to find something really special. If you find something, you know, something that's just going to be more than just consumables. I mean, there are some things, yes, but like extending, for example, your increasing your maximum HP and stuff. But overall, it's not there. So I think it's still could have been done better to a certain degree. Maybe a specific move for a weapon or something that is hidden, you know, something that you're just not gonna unlock automatically using weapon XP. Maybe some kind of cosmetic item. I don't know. You get my drift. But at the end of the day, it's all about combat. This game is almost pure action, and this is the focus of the game. So in that aspect, the game is done well. Actually, the combat itself is actually spectacular. I mean, feels very connected, smooth with all the combos, very fast. You can close distance on enemies and they can on you sometimes. So you don't have kind of lots of you know, clunky feeling when you're fighting. Lots of cool moves, combos, and things to remember and to master. But even with all that, something just wasn't that memorable. There's one thing actually at the end of the game, which I won't gonna mention here, that was fun and very memorable. Also at the beginning there was something, but so when I finish a game and I like kind of not even thinking about too much about how the experience was and not gonna even sleep on it, this means that something wasn't that exciting in general. Actually, when I was more towards like 70% of the game, I kind of just wanted to more rush into it because it just felt just repetitive. You know, the same thing, the same idea, the same all over again, like copy paste, and nothing really that really stood out. Boss fights were okay. Some of them really nice, but again, one of them is great, but again, at the end of the game, but not special. So what really makes this game, can make the game great? Well, I think for fans of the game, those who plan to challenge themselves on the hardest difficulty, those who want to master all the combos and play the Master Ninja after they finish the game. I think actually the game opens up once you finish the first playthrough. But whether I'm motivated to play more, I'm not sure yet. I'm gonna sleep on it tonight, but I'm not sure. This is why I think, and I actually saw it when I read Steam reviews, that those who are fans of the game actually like it. Some don't, but it seems like many players, I think most players will actually find this game to be a good Ninja Gaiden game. Regarding environment, well, it's bland, it's not really interesting. There's nothing really, it's all about in the okay level. Nothing really stand out that much. I mean, it's supposed to be not too like bright and colorful because then it's gonna blend with the visual effects and everything, so that's understandable. A bit atmospheric at times, like you see here, but the indoors, that's just not interesting. There are again exceptions, but not many of them. You can see by the way the graphics, the visual fidelity, it was okay. It wasn't great, and this is what you see here is on the highest graphic settings. Visual effects were done well, by the way. Some of the cutscenes are also nice, boss introduction done nice, but again in terms of environment it was okay. Also the music, it was okay. So many things are okay. The thing is that the combat is designed well in the game as expected, so but there's something as a whole, we didn't take everything into account, just didn't make the game as immersive as I would have wanted it to be. So it's basically like a bunch of enemies. By the way, the spacing of the enemies was okay, it was good. And then traversal, bunch of enemies, traversal, checkpoint, then again, rinse and repeat, and then a boss fight. So already there's nothing really that surprised me. Like nothing that really like, oh wow, look at that. There's no like surprising moments here. I already know what to expect after just playing the game, I don't know, for like 15-20 minutes. So it felt more kind of the excitement, kind of a stale, like consistent all the time. There's no like lows and highs. I mean, there was highs, but again, just towards the end. So it was disappointing. Regarding, by the way, difficulty, I play on normal. So I can tell you that on normal, it wasn't difficult at all. It doesn't mean that I haven't failed a few times. It's all about, alright, you get a few potions, that's it, it's over. Because you can actually finish it. It's all about how many potions you can have. And for me at least. When I get the extra, alright, pop it up, I just missed a bit. And the thing is that once you continue fighting the same boss, you're going to get them automatically. But just retrying the bosses. And also the game doesn't, the good thing is that also the game doesn't pad. So they're just, you can even retry bosses again and again and again without even getting to the checkpoint. Just straight into the boss. So I respect them for that. But of course, it's also lead of the game being shorter. But nothing wrong with that. This game shouldn't be padded. Otherwise it looks just bad for such a game. Some of the areas, by the way, if I saw that I actually really liked, was kind of like a cyberpunky environment. So the moment I told myself, oh my god, this cyberpunk environment with neon signs was so beautiful, it started, but it's just a glimpse into something and then you go into an indoor and then that's it. So if there was something like that, an environment is more lively and fun, rather than just something enclosed like a cave or something, or just an industrial building, it would be so much more fun. And of course it's good for performance, designing things like that, but it just wasn't immersive. I wanted the world to be more lively, and I don't know, it just felt like a missed opportunity. Anyway, again, it was okay, but it didn't stood out. Variety of enemies, yes, there were a variety of enemies, I can't complain about that. In terms of, listen, most of the simple enemies are really easy to defeat. If you really want, by the way, challenge, I recommend not playing on normal, going for, well, at least, I mean, hard is the hardest, the first playthrough, then you can go to Master Ninja. And I think this game will be more fun once you try, you know, start challenging yourself, trying to really get those, you know, bragging rights, prove that you can do it at the hardest difficulty. Depends, of course, on the bosses you fight. This, I think, where people will, you know, if you can master many of the combos, how fluid it is to actually, by the way, this is kind of a more interesting environment, kind of colorful and lots of enemies, and there's also kind of like a disco in there. So this was kind of more, I'm happy actually that I got there. So, finally a bit of colors. So again, there are some exceptions, but even then it wasn't really that great. But it did give me some retro game vibe with the classic games that, you know, I don't know, it just, and this is good because I wanted something like that. If it was something more into, well, what I wanted really, it would probably going to already be something that feels more like a modern game than kind of a classic game. But I already know, because I'm consumed with so many other modern games, sometimes it's hard for me to like connect. I play many other classic games and not all the time I connect with them as I was when I was a child. So, and because I don't have any nostalgic connection to the Ninja Gaiden franchise, it's not like there's something that I don't feel anything. It's just the game, it is what it is. And of course, this actually has a huge impact if you already played a lot of the Ninja Gaiden series, let alone if you're a fan of the franchise. This can even amplify the game experience even more than it actually is. In many cases, it's like that. It's just, that's how it is, because the nostalgia plays a very significant part. Now, I also have this, but, you know, I can't even lie to myself. There are really few games, classic games, that I enjoy replaying again. Like, one of the few, for example, classic games I really enjoyed playing again was Gianna Sisters. The music still sounds amazing. One of my favorite, by the way. It hasn't changed. The game feels amazing, and a classic game that I still enjoy playing to them. Same goes to Wonder Boy 3, but there aren't a lot of them. It also, by the way, doesn't mean that I need to finish each game. Sometimes just play a game for some good memories, because it has access to certain memory cells that I couldn't get access to unless I play the game myself or hear the music, I touch it. Then it gets me connected. I can actually see images from the past that I already forgot about them. It's kind of a weird thing that happens in your head once you get access to some things that you are very nostalgic about. So there's something special about it. Here also, by the way, I got a bit of nostalgia, but not related to specific franchise, but other games that I play in the past that are quite similar to this. You can see the visual effects are really nice. You can see the lighting also very good. This is on the highest graphic setting, so it looks good. Yeah, some areas look nice. Again, it was okay, as I mentioned, for such a short game. And by the way, one thing I want to mention, this is very important. There are some bosses that keep repeating themselves. Motar was I think like 70% of the game. When you play with another character, and then you go back to the main character, so you're gonna repeat them. And this seems like kind of padded. Like it extends the game in a way that, of course, there's part of the story attached to it, but still you're gonna fight the same bosses. And that, of course, also extend the time. So if you take this one out, the game should be even less than what I mentioned. So I don't know why they've done that. Not even a variety of them, just the same boss or bosses, several of them. Not many, I think like 3 of them just keep repeating themselves. And it felt like, just something like they wanted to extend the game. It just felt like it. I'm not saying that it is. Although you fight them with 2 different characters, I don't know. It just felt that this is not it. It just felt off for a game this is already very short, repeating something. And also it felt weird because the game is short and you just introduce it's not a new character, but just introduce it into the game in that part. It's not like there's something that needs to be done for such a game, because it's already short. So why stop and go into another character? And then again, it just felt not connected. It just felt not good. To be honest with you, it just felt off. I was asking myself, what are you doing? This is not something that this is for maybe some more longer games. This is something like that. And even then, when you care about the story to a certain degree, when you switch to another character and then you go back. But here, the story is just not interesting for me, it wasn't interesting at all. So when you see something like that in such a short game, in a story that's not really interesting, it's also the story is kind of a side thing here. It's just, yeah, well, you get the point. It was weird. In terms of build and items, there aren't a lot of items, so even the items that you have, it doesn't feel great because it's very limited. But those that you have can actually, have major effects, so they design them to be meaningless. So they do have effect, pretty strong effect. What's called measure, some of them. So it's always okay. Again, it was okay. Cutscenes were okay. Voice line, I don't really care about that. It actually felt a bit cringe sometimes. Yeah, that's it. So it was okay game. I gave it a 7 eventually, because I still think in general, considering what it is, I think it's a good game if you put your expectations in place. But at the same time, I want to say that this game, I think, will shine even more once you're more committed to continue playing it. It seems like the campaign itself is just kind of a starting point, because then there are the different game modes that you unlock. You can actually visit previous chapter, maybe some areas. Actually, I know some area that it wasn't accessible before, and you can actually access it after you got a certain ability. And you can challenge yourself with harder difficulty, master the combats. You need to be into this game. Many players won't be unless they're a fan of the franchise or really like or enjoy this game. So where I am into all this, well, I haven't decided yet. I'm not sure. As a player playing many games, there's nothing here that made me just really want to replay it. Like Elden Ring, I replayed, like Elden Ring is a long game. I played it Elden Ring 5 times, 5 playthroughs. And Elden Ring was a big game. And the reason I started from fresh because I really want to learn something rather than, from the core without being powerful, and work my way up to certain other builds, like Sorcerer, for example, which I did after I tried Faith and Strength build. I also want to try without Mimic and see how we can do it, playing solo against the bosses. And it's just such an amazing world, and there's so many things to discover beyond what you discover in your playthrough. Some of the things probably I haven't discovered just yet. There's so many things to discover that all of that led me to really enjoy playing again and again. Also, Expedition 33 played several times. What an amazing game. So here, unless I really want to professionalize myself in this game, I'm not sure that I want to do that. I rather probably want to pick up another Souls game that I haven't played and jump into that. Now, if it was a game and I didn't know this ahead of time, that was just one difficulty and it was very hard, like Souls-like game, I probably would have stuck in this game, like, I don't know, maybe twice as much. And then maybe I would appreciate it even more. But it wasn't the case. I chose normal difficulty because I just, wanted to try the core. Then I knew if I want to do more or less. By the way, you can change the difficulty in the game throughout. But because I was also more into the arcade type of gameplay and not into getting into like a Souls-like difficulty, I was fine with that. But thinking about it retrospectively, I think it might, if it was something that was close in difficulty, maybe it will lead to some other results. But, well, this is not the case. Still, I decided to stay normal, not go lower, because sometimes when I go lower in certain games, it just ruins the fun. So I can decide for myself that I want to stay with this. I'm not going to go lower because just streaming through the game is not fun. I want a bit of challenge. I want to challenge myself. I want to struggle. And there are some struggling that I encounter here in this game, repeating several fights, certain encounters. So yeah, good enough not to get me, in quotation, frustrated, because I'm used to Souls-like games. Yeah, play Sekiro, Shadows Die Twice, another Souls-like game. So I'm used to it. Although I didn't want this game to be like that, but when I came into it, I knew it's going to be challenging, but I didn't know, how it's going to be in the different difficulties. But eventually I just play on normal. And the result is that it was okay. But maybe I should have played at a harder difficulty, maybe. When I'm saying it, I really want to jump into the Master Ninja difficulty. Maybe I'm going to try tomorrow and see how hard it is. Maybe it's going to trigger my Souls-like addiction. And I say, all right, now I want to try it. And then let the suffering begin. Kind of earning my bragging rights. Although I never brag about these things. To be honest with you, I don't care. I just do it for myself. And being able to, see, all right, this is good. I enjoy sharing, but There's no something in me just like, wow, look at me, what I've done. Never was like that. I actually think that I'm average, even below average player when it comes to Souls-like games. But still, of course, it feels great once you're able to conquer a challenge in many games. So yeah, so I think it's going to be more fun playing this game and harder difficulty. That's what I'm trying to say. Yeah, so overall, very questionable decision in this game, for sure. The game has some highlights and some lows, but not a lot of highs, unfortunately. A lot of fun in certain bosses at the end of the game. Actually, one boss at the end of the game was actually really fun. I first several times, eventually I got it on normal difficulty. But I would say that definitely when it comes to combat, you're gonna enjoy the combat. The combat, especially when fighting several enemies and you switch between them, is just so satisfying. Also the weapons, there's different pros and cons. So you might switch between them, you can switch them on the fly, and some other really cool abilities and combination that are just satisfying to execute. Especially the combos. So I think many will agree that the combat is fun. There are some clunkiness when it comes to jumping and on certain things. Sometimes you push back because you can't get through. Sometimes certain things feel a bit clunky. Like locking on enemies, for example, is just annoying because there's so many enemies sometimes, like 6, 7, 8. You're not going to switch between them. And when you want to switch, like focusing on eating a shuriken on the enemy above you, you can't really lock on him. It's just locking on other enemies. It felt clunky and it felt good, and it was very frustrating. I mean, in Souls-like games, you get something similar, but again, you're not going to face lots of enemies in these games. So it's not going to be the case. Nonetheless, there are some things that just didn't work well for this game, but I think in most cases, things designed well. Yes, overall, that's it. Kind of more expanded opinion about the game. So I still think it's a good game, and I said it and I mean it. Based on my experience, it's a good game, and it's a very good game, very good game to get on Game Pass if you're already a subscriber, and that's what I did. I mean, expected it to be like that, to be honest with you. And this is why I decided not to buy this game and get it on Game Pass. I think it's a great game to get on Game Pass, even if you just get a game for the price for 1 month and you can get this game rather than paying the full game. Unless you're going to see yourself investing in this game a lot, and then this is a different story, or you're a big fan, of course. Up to you. Again, when it comes to subscription, each one their own. I'm not going to tell you what to do. I'm saying that for me it was a good choice to play it on Game Pass, and I'm happy I did. I'm a bit disappointed that eventually, I mean, this is this is not the first Ninja Gaiden game that they didn't put a bit more effort into releasing a more polished game in certain aspect of the game. Just feel better. That's what I feel. But I do recommend it. Reviews are, by the way, very good. People enjoy the game, and I also enjoy the game. You won't see like lots of 10s here for this game, but again, I can see why. There are also quite a few people who were disappointed, but I can't really say, all right, compared to other Ninja Gaiden games, because I haven't compared anything. I'm just saying the game as it is. I don't need a place to compare it to any other Ninja Gaiden game. So if there are people disappointed, probably there are reasons why they're disappointed. Some say this is like among the best Ninja Gaiden game. That's what they wanted it to be. So they're going to be mixed opinions about that. Yeah, that's it. Thanks for watching, everybody. I hope you can know more about what I feel about the game and why, the reason why I was disappointed, what I liked. And that's it. Thanks for watching. Consider also subscribing to discover more games that I play, see gameplay, guides, and all this stuff on my channel. Thanks for watching.